For instance, there was a time when I stayed at my cousin's house in Jackson. I was about 14 or 15 and he was a couple of years younger. His room was rearranged, with his bed as far from the closet as possible. At the time, I didn't think much of it. Kids love moving furniture around, right? That night, as we were settling down to sleep, I heard his closet door creak open. Assuming it was him rummaging around, I told him to keep it down and jokingly tossed a pillow in his direction. What happened next was bizarre. I suddenly felt like I was being attacked, rolled over, punched in the chest, and then thrown across the room. It all felt so vivid, but when I woke up the next morning, I was back in the same spot where I'd fallen asleep. I chalked it up to a weird dream until I got up to brush my teeth. That's when I noticed bruises on my chest. It was unsettling, to say the least. Looking back, my cousin's reluctance to talk about the strange happenings in his house made more sense. He and his family had been dealing with what I suspect was a shadow entity. Personally, I find these entities more annoying than harmful. They seem to enjoy scaring people, stalking them from a distance and playing mind games. Still, I've been lucky. Apart from a few bruises here and there, I've never been seriously harmed. Experiences like these have taught me to trust my instincts. There are places where just being there triggers an overwhelming sense of dread. Sometimes, I don't even get out of the car because the feeling is so strong. While some might brush it off, I've learned not to ignore that primal fear. It's better to be cautious than to regret taking unnecessary risks. I've also noticed a wide range of reactions to the supernatural. Some people are open to the idea, while others refuse to believe, even when they've had unexplainable experiences themselves. It's frustrating, but also understandable. We're conditioned to seek logical explanations first, and only when none fit do we entertain the possibility of the paranormal. For me, it's not about convincing anyone. I share my experiences anonymously to connect with others who might relate. My family, especially on my mom's side, prefers to keep these things quiet, fearing ridicule or judgment. I respect that, but I also think it's important to talk about these experiences. They remind us that the world is full of mysteries we don't fully understand. Whether it's an eerie shadow figure or a sudden sense of unease, these moments leave a lasting impression. Wow, that story takes paranormal encounters to a whole other level. Seeing something so vivid, especially with the injuries the entity had sustained in life, is incredibly intense. I can only imagine how unsettling it must have been to turn around and come face to face with what you described, a young man with a cracked skull and a bloodied face. The detail about his expression, filled with fear or horror, adds to how haunting the experience was.